It is the start of the final 10 races of the 2001 NASCAR Winston Cup Series season here on JRTV as we head short track racing here at the Richmond International Raceway for the Chevrolet Monte Carlo 400. I'm Joe Ricasco, along to me Trey Bardo. And Trey, this is classic short track racing under the lights here to start out the final 10 race stretch in this Winston Cup Series season. Cira versus Chris Jericho for the points lead and the championship. Cira starts 4th here tonight. Jericho starts back in 13th. How aggressive do you think Brett will be trying to get down to the inside lane on the start to make sure Jericho can't pass him on the initial start?
I mean, it's going to be everything. This place is kind of like Martinsville and every other track like that. I mean, if you're on the outside, you're going to fall as far back as long as that inside line is. So I mean, if you're stuck up there, your race is not over, but it's going to be off to a rough start.
Yeah, so while Jericho did qualify back in 13th, 9 spots behind Brett, he maybe had a sigh of relief when he realized Brett was going to be on the outside to start. He'll be on the inside to start, so maybe Jericho can gain those spots and get past Brett on this start and try and keep him behind him, because Jericho's done well here in the past at Richmond. He's had fast cars. We'll see if he can try and bring another fast car here tonight at Richmond. Speaking of fast race cars, the DEI cars have brought speed here to Richmond after a summer of struggles for the entire organization as a whole. Think back to Road America, Lathan Strickland doing well, but he hit the end of the pit wall, and there's just been kind of moment after that ever since kind of Pocono when 2 cars finished inside the top 3 there. They have not had the luck or the speed to go with it, but Anthony will start 5th here tonight. Lathan Strickland starts in 7th, and Eli Bright starts in 15th, and Eli was fastest in practice, Trey. So is this maybe DEI's night where they finally get that victory, or is it just going to be a rebuilding kind of race, a stepping block for what's to come in the future?
I don't want to say it's going to be a winning night, because if they don't win, they'll say I jinxed them, and I don't want that bad relationship. So you know what, I'm going to say it definitely could be a strong night for them. And we know they got the speed for it, obviously, so I'll be excited to see what they can do. But again, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they're up front battling for the win.
Yeah, we know Anthony Lathan Strickland, Eli Bright, they've all had really good runs at points in this season, kind of all by themselves. We'll see if all 3 of them can maybe put together like the RCR guys did a few races ago at Pocono. Maybe all 3 of the DEI cars could be up front, kind of battling towards the top 5, maybe even for the win at the end of the night if everything goes their way. And also watch for 2 drivers kind of start a little bit further back outside the top 10. Keegan Thompson will start back in the 12th position. Keyshawn Richardson, a few rows behind him in 18th trade. Those 2 have combined to win the last 3 Richmond races. Keegan winning both last season, Keyshawn winning earlier in the season. So if they want to win, they have to come from mid-pack on the outside lane. We'll see if they can get it done, though, here at Richmond. As we take a look at the weather here, it's a beautiful night for racing. Clear, 77 degrees, so one of the cooler nights and cooler, races as of late on the Winston Cup Series schedule. 4 miles an hour wind in the southeast direction. We'll see how that impacts this race all throughout. And the Richmond International Raceway, located in Richmond, Virginia, is a 3/4-mile oval with 14 degrees of banking in the turns, 8 degrees on the front straightaway, and 2 degrees on the back straightaway. But I'm sure the drivers will tell you there's basically no banking on the straightaways here. That's just how little banking there is around this 3/4-mile racetrack. The track opened in 1946, one of the older tracks we go to. First race obviously held here in the first ever season, 1981. And the past 5 winners here at Richmond, it's been kind of a mix of drivers. Roland Emmerich in 1996, Michael Canto in 1997, Jeff Bright did it in 1998, Trey Rainey in 1999, and Keegan Thompson obviously swept her last season. So we'll see if Keegan can try and get back to victory lane here at Richmond. It'll be an 80-lap race here in the Chevrolet Monte Carlo 400, and the field window 50 to 60 laps, and then go well past the midpoint here. We'll see how that all impacts it throughout the race. If we get some early yellows, do drivers want to try and run the whole race out after that with one stop, or will there be some different mixed pit strategy if we get some yellow flags at turn points in the race? It's going to be fun to look forward to here at Richmond Short Track Racing in the 10th to last race of the Winston Cup Series season. Let's go on trackside, get the command to fire the engines up for the Chevrolet Monte Carlo 400 here in the 2001 NASCAR Winston Cup Series season.
Drivers, start your engines.
And there roll off the 42 cars to do battle here at the Richmond International Raceway. Before we get going, Trey, because it's a short pace lap, Zach Fitzwater Sr. did really well here earlier in the season from pole position, but unfortunately could not hang on to the win and fell back because of pit stops. Could this be a redemption night for Fitzwater starting in 2nd place here tonight?
It could be. I mean, as long as they don't do what they did last time we were here, I think they're going to be one of the competitors here to beat.
Yeah, he and Mitchell Collins both did really well here, or had fast cars here, but unfortunately did not do well in the spring. Let's see if they can try and pick it up at the end of the summer here at Richmond. But they have to beat Roush Racing's Matthew Burnett, looking for his second win of the season. He's on pole. Clifton and Brett Cira Hernandez round out the top 5. There's the green flag. We're underway for Richmond. A great jump for Burnett on the start.
It actually looks like there might be a gap behind Cira there. He may be able to get down, but I don't think he's going to be able to.
Noah Clifton fighting to stay to the inside because Clifton had a really good qualifying result. Jericho went 3 wide on lap 1 into turn 1, trying to get by Collins and some others. He's already up inside the top 10. As at the front, Burnett and Fitzwater lead 1 and 2. Battle for third. Clifton gets low and gets by Brett Cira to get to third place. Hernandez looks to shuffle through to fourth with Lathan Strickland, his teammate, right behind us. They race through 1 and 2.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, people are just kind of trying to figure out. We can still see some 3-wide action back there going on, and looks like Eli Bright might be in the middle of that, so I don't know how well that's going to turn out.
Caution is out.
Oh, already.
Luke Rainey in the 88 and others.
Oh, this is bigger than I thought it was.
Yeah, Jack Haas, Caden Lynn, Davis, they're still spinning. Jordan Stout, Samet Oskin. I mean, there are cars littered around the 3/4 mile racetrack.
And now these guys got to calm down a little bit and figure out where they're going to slide in the line here. And this is sketchier than the actual racing at times.
Yeah, and this is a really big break for Brett Cira, right? He was on the outside falling back, but will get inline in 5th. Jericho back in 10th, so for Brett, he still has 5 spots in front of Chris Jericho. Really, really big there for the 25 for that yellow to come out because he was still going to be falling back spots.
Yeah, I mean, that pretty much just saved the start of his race right there. So they're kind of on an even playing field at the moment, if you could say that. Just depends on how this restart goes whenever we come to it, though. So we'll have to see how the cards lay.
We'll have to go check out what happened. We got the first yellow flag in the Chevrolet Monte Carlo 400. Matthew Burnett still leads in that number 17 from pole position. Well, Trey, I know we're used to seeing pack racing, but this is Richmond, a 3/4 mile racetrack. How are they 4 wide here?
Stack up is what I would have to assume, and then people are trying to find spots. And Joe, 3 wide barely works, but 4 wide, you ain't gonna get that to happen.
Yeah, unfortunately, Luke Rainey had no room with Laura Chung to his outside, Jamie Stammer Jr. to his inside. They clipped with the 71, the 88. Luke spins around. Luckily for Davis, he misses the inside wall. Unluckily for him is that there's a crash that gets involved up ahead. For Luke, it's actually not that bad. I think the 88 could still compete.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, he might have scratched a Ford logo off his car. That was about it. I don't really think he hit the wall at all.
Yeah, the Taurus text might be gone, but otherwise, I think the 88 just fine and continue on. Let's go take a look at some more what happened in this wreck, because it happened at about 3 parts from the entrance of 3 all the way to the exit of turn 4. Well, Trey, here's another angle at it with Stanworth and Luke getting together, but this will really show the secondary part of the crash. As Stanworth comes up into Lynn, Jack Haas, and watch Davis. Look at that hit.
Oh. That's a massive hit. I mean, he pretty much hit that flat on that side right there. And then right here, the drivers are, trying to avoid it. And then that transition from the apron to the track just kind of gets these cars upset. And they just slide a little bit. You can see Luke Rainey with a big save.
Yeah, everyone was kind of wondering where to go. They're off 4. I mean, Stout and Wells were involved, Oskin, Ryan Wilson as well. So there was a lot happening towards the back of the pack for Anthony Burnett. He's very lucky he was at the front of the pack when that all occurred because he's the race leader. It has Zach Fitzwater Sr. He leads back to the green flag on the Chevrolet Monte Carlo 400 at Richmond. Well, Trey, come take the green flag. Completion of lap number 7, start of lap number 8. Matthew Burnett from pole, still leading here at Richmond. 1 car to the garage. Jamie Stanford Jr., unfortunate with the new sponsor on the hood of that number 71. He'll be done for the night. Walker Davis fell lap down repairing damage. And Ronald Kennington, before that yellow flag came out, actually came down the pit road. Fell lap down with an issue on the 77, so he's out there in 40th place. Unfortunate for Kennington, who had a decent starting spot, decent practice speed throughout the weekend so far. We have 39 cars on the lead lap. Some of the last, like Oskin, Stout, Luke Rainey, and some of the others at the back with some damage. At the front, Matthew Burnett still leading from pole. Fitzwater still in second. Then you have Noah Clifton still third. Hernandez up to 4th, and Cira back to 5th. Strickland, Benny Lynn, Kukulon, Roberto Crown Jr., and Chris Jericho are the front 10 for the restart. Green flag back there, and a great jump for Fitzwater onto Burnett, looking at a 1, but it's his Aussie friend Noah Clifton going to the inside on the 32.
Yeah, you can't pass before the start-finish line, Joe. So Fitzy had to hit the brakes, and Clifton luckily did it, so he got the run, and he actually might be challenging for the lead right here.
He's looking to the inside. Burnett kind of crowds him down, but Clifton still gets the drive off. Side by side for the lead. How about the PPI Motorsports driver of Noah Clifton going for the lead on Matthew Burnett into turn 1, still side by side with the 17, and Burnett washes up the track. It's going to be Clifton's leader off turn 2.
You know, recently, this team's been really competitive recently. I mean, the last couple of races, it's either they're in the top 10 or they're near it. So I mean, they've been impressive lately.
Yeah, even with Brandon Beal, they've been doing really well. So both their cars lately have found some speed. Meanwhile, Brett Cira's up to second on the restart. Jericho's on the outside back in 10th, and Cira now wants to lead off two, but can't get inside of Clifton. The third two hangs tough for now. Strickland watching on in third in case the front two have some sort of altercation. But Brett's there in the 25. Just better grip and horsepower and handling overall for the 25, a bigger team. And he's low on Clifton into turn one, and Brett Cira looking for his 6th win of the season, but it might not be a great stat to get that because Keegan Thompson won his 6th race here last season, but didn't win the race, or didn't win the race for the rest of the season, and didn't win the championship either.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a trend I want to follow, Joe. I don't know if I might just give up the win just in case.
Well, they are teammates, so you know what? Trends kind of tend to follow teammates, but Clifton's not giving in. Look, he's all over the back of Brett off two, almost a bump. The front four basically nose to tail with barely any space between them. I don't think I see any light between those bumpers.
Yeah, they might want to be careful because if one makes contact with the other, it might get all four involved.
It could.
And that's going to be one angry discussion that'll happen.
3 wide. Jericho sees Brett Cira up there leading the race and says, I need to get up there now in the 18, and he's wasting no time. Move past Hernandez and Riley Spurgeon right here. Burnett's falling back from his pole starting spot. At the front, Lathan's going for second on Clifton and almost clears the third two, and because of this battling side by side, the 25 gets away. Great run for Roberto Crown Jr., still a car that's not locked into the race based on owner points. He was the fastest of the open cars in qualifying. He's now up inside the top 5, so for the second straight race, this number 43 has brought some speed just like Watkins Glen, and Roberto Crown Jr. wheeling this car around Richmond, going for 4th now on Noah Clifton.
I mean, we always say, you know, the shorter tracks are kind of like road courses with the heavy braking. So, I mean, this ain't too terribly far from Watkins Glen, which, I mean, doesn't surprise me why this 43 is up front.
Roberto Crown Jr. up to 4th. Meanwhile, the battle for second, one of the RCR cars looking to win a race for RCR this season. Sebastian Kukulan up to second by Lathan Strickland. Kukulan clears the 15, so now can he be the one to run down Brett Cira and the 25? Strickland back in third. The battle for 4th is still ongoing. The 43 and the 32 get side by side, but they have to watch their mirrors because Chris Jericho's a man on the mission in the 18. Look at him go up to 6th place and right on the back for the top 5 here. I think he's going to get maybe both these guys within the next few laps. Look at that rotation for the 18.
I mean, this car just looks like he has it set the way he wants it to. He's just throwing that thing around the corners right now. He's going to dive it in here and clear this 43 on corner exit, and he might have a chance at Clifton by the time we get to 3.
Yeah, this has been a great run for the race so far for Chris Jericho in the 18, but he has to be this aggressive because he sees Brett Cira up there leading the race. He cannot let Cira get away and lead all these laps and get bonus points. Jericho needs to go now, and he's shown it for 4th place on Clifton into turn 1. And how about continuing the momentum from last week for Riley Spurley up inside the top 10, 7th place, and on the back door of a top 5 here. That 28 flying here so far early on at Richmond, just showing that momentum means a whole lot here in the Winston Cup Series.
Yeah, I mean, momentum can literally make or break a team. If you have momentum, you're doing great, and then all of a sudden you lose it. I mean, we've seen it before, Joe. They're done for, it could be 5, 6, 7, 10 races at a time.
Yeah, I think the man our cameraman focusing on, right? Chris Jericho, that's one that lost the momentum in the summer months and hasn't been able to regain it since. Watkins was a good building block to get it back, and now here at Richmond once again having another top 5 run, but he needs to run down Brett Cira, and so far everyone, you know, behind Brett is doing it. Kukulan is cutting into the lead, nearly a 10th at a time. Lathan and Jericho also trying to filter through, as Spurley 2 moving for the 6th place on Roberto Crown Jr., and the 28 will take it away from the 43 right there. Meanwhile, 2 of our Richmond winners are coming to the front. Keyshawn Richardson is up to 8th. Keegan was up to 9th, but Hernandez moves low on him. Fitzwater and Hernandez together. Watch for these two, the 1 and the 2. But Brandon Beal looks out 3 wide to turn 1 the 96, and Fitzwater's yielding.
That was almost another 4-wide situation there, Joe, and we saw what happened last time we had one of those, so luckily they were able to sort it out there. But, Joe, the 96 and the 32, they're looking strong right now.
Yes, they are. Noah Clifton still up inside the top 5. Brandon Beal, I do believe, just moved inside the top 10 with that move in the 96. And he did. He's up to 10th by Keegan Thompson. So a strong day so far for PPI Motorsports. Both cars inside the top 10 looking to try and keep it that way after everything cycles through after 80 laps of competition. Chris Jericho's up to 30. He's by Lathan Strickland. And at the front, Kukulan is hunting down Brett Cira for the lead into turn 1. But the yellow flag is out down the backstretch. Tim Gary's around.
I can't tell if there was another car involved. That was a lot of smoke, and he was pretty far from it, so I would have to assume there's maybe 2 cars around. But I mean, we definitely see Tim Gary there, but didn't look like too much damage. But Brett Cira's going to take the yellow flag at the start finish.
Yeah, that was a weird moment where Kukulan was only 3.5 tenths back, but still he took the yellow and Brett didn't, which was kind of interesting, right? If you're separated by 3.5 tenths, you can't really. I don't know if the human mind can even comprehend that, but somehow it happened that Brett and second place Kukulan just one took the yellow and the other one didn't, and it just kind of came down to that. But now the question is, Trey, pit strategy, right? They've just taken completion of lap 23. They can technically make it from here, but it could be a stretch on fuel and tires. Brett Cira comes in, and it looks like most of the pack will come in with them because I guess they think they can definitely make it from here.
See the the next 5 guys after Brett Cira, they all went as fast as they could to the start finish line to catch back up to him.
Yeah, they absolutely drove it into pit road trying to get as fast as they could without speeding penalties. Matt Oskin or I guess those are some lap cars back there, but there are some lead lap cars that pitted because of the damage. They're actually staying out and they're on the lead lap. This could be an interesting restart.
Yeah, I mean this might go one of 2 ways, and I don't want to say the ways just in case, but we'll have to see how it goes.
Great stop for the 18 team. They're down away. Kukulan down away. Brett Cira as well will maintain off of pit road. So good stops for the front few, but I think Brett might be sweating a little bit, seeing Jericho just a few cars behind him, and the 30 gaining on the 25 on that restart. So we'll have to see how it goes. But at the moment, some of these cars stayed out, but they might be coming in this time. Maybe they just wanted to stay out, maybe get away from the mess on pit road.
I don't blame them. Not one bit.
We've seen a lot this season what could happen. So now they're in, and it's going to hand the lead back to Brett Cira in the 25 under the second caution flag here in the Chevrolet Monte Carlo 400. Let's go check out what happened to Tim Gary down the back straightaway in the number 10 car. Well, Trey, here it is. Through 1 and 2. Benny Lynn looking 4 wide, backs out of it, trying to give space. Justin Atkins can't lift, and the 29 gets into the back of Benny Lynn, spinning him down to Tim Gary, and Gary, an innocent bystander, and this Atkins gets away scot-free, but the 2 cars he spins, luckily, no contact, and once again, both cars should be fine to continue on at a good pace.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't think there's anyone to really blame there. It's just kind of the way short tracks act. If one guy, checks up on the top and the guy right below him doesn't really have that much time to react, and they're going to make contact, and sooner or later someone else is going to end up getting spun from that, and sadly Tim Gary was the innocent victim in that. But again, I mean, I really don't think you can put a blame on anyone in that situation.
Yeah, for sure. That's just kind of short track racing. You're going to be close together all throughout, and those accidents could happen throughout. So go take a look at this wreck once again in full speed. Another look, Trey. You can just see right there from that kind of wider angle, the contact between the 33 and the 29. Luckily for these two, they just spun it, didn't hit anything. Great recovery by Benny Lynn to just get back going immediately. Tim was obviously sideways, had to get back going that way, but really good recovery by both of them to get back going and not falling a lap down to Brett Cira, who didn't take the yellow flag yet.
Yeah, I mean, Joe, imagine if that was in the middle of the pack.
Yeah.
I don't know if those cars would be continuing right now.
No, I don't think so for sure. But for Brett Cira, he's lucky everyone got going and got away because he's the race leader and his pit crew did their job. They leave first in the 25. So the points leader looking for his 6th win of the season. Don't go anywhere on JRTV. Brett Cira leads the Chevrolet Monte Carlo 400. Back for the second restart of the night here at Richmond. We're not even 30 laps into it. Still only 1 car out. The cars a lap down include Kennington, Wilson, Davis, and Osgood is now 2 laps down the 44. Still 37 cars left running on the lead lap. Brett Cira in the 25 leads. Remember, all these drivers came down the pit lane. They should be good on fuel and tires for the end of the race. Kukulan was catching the 25, flying onto him. He's right now in second. Jericho, a man on a mission, in third place. Clifton still in fourth, and Sprotum now fifth. You have Keyshawn Richardson, Roberto Crown Jr., Brandon Beal, Strickland, and Keegan Thompson also inside the top 10. As we're back going, not a good start for Kukulan, pretty good for Jericho, and also really good for Clifton. As back there, Strickland looks slow on Brandon Beal, and it looks like Jericho's looking on Kukulan as they race off too.
He wasn't able to get it quite yet, but you got to be careful of Clifton there. If he has the opportunity, you definitely know he's going to take it to the inside of Jericho, so you might want to play it safe. It looks like he's going to get to the inside of Kukulan, so that should keep Jericho safe from getting passed on the bottom.
Well, these two battling for second place have a bit of a history here at Richmond last season. When Kukulan was in the 17, Jericho was in the 18, obviously, and they were battling up for a spot inside the top 3 people. It was second place at the time. Kukulan got behind Jericho, never lifted, and spun him around, and it caused a whole bad race for Chris Jericho. Well, now Jericho just maybe gave a bump to Kukulan, got by him, and now he's going to be the one trying to run down Brett Cira, who's led most of the laps so far here in Richmond, but that number 18 so far looks pretty fast here at Richmond, looking for another win this season. Riley Springs is up to third by Kukulan is back in line in fourth, and the battle for fifth. Roberto Crown Jr. not going to win. That 43 getting by Keyshawn Richardson. Noah Clifton in line. Fitzwater. How about Roger Ray coming forward in the 55? Had a dismal qualifying result, but that 55 so far moving moving forward here at Richmond.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time we've seen this 55 start in the back and slowly make his way up into the top 10. I don't think it is the first time, at least.
No, I don't think so. I think Roger Ray's been, sneaky good at many races throughout his career. He's never won, but he's had some really good moments, and this could be another good result for that number 55 Roger Ray's. Brandon Beal was up top 3 wide, luckily sorted that back to double file because some issues could have arose from that. Eli Brett's kind of falling back here in the 8 car, so he's not having the best of days after his really good practice result and a decent qualifying result. He's currently back here in the second half of the field, just trying to get by Brandon Beal and Jay Rando. Evan Hunter right behind him. See, Mathews Wells has some damage on that 20 car from the first accident with Jordan Stout. They're still going along in that number 20 and the number 6. At the front of the field, the gap remains constant between the 25 and the 18. It's been just under 7/10 of a second for the past 3 or so laps. Jericho not gaining, Cira not gaining, so we'll have to see how it all plays out over the longer run here at Richmond. The battle for third still ongoing. Sprint got on the restart, but Kuka looks like he has the better longer run car of anyone inside the top 5 in that 30, going for a pass on Riley Sprint for that third spot.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens if the 30 can complete this pass and catch up to Jericho. If Jericho might push his car a little bit more, or if Jericho just ends up letting the 30 by and see if he can chase down Brett to start to battle him, and that'll slowly reel that 18 in. So, the 18's got a few cards to play here if Kukulon does end up catching him.
Yeah, we'll have to see, because that 30 has looked pretty fast over the long run. Remember, right before the yellows, there's more smoke on the backstretch, but no yellow flag. So there's obviously some minor incident, but it didn't require a yellow flag to come out, so we're still green flag racing. We're at Brett Cira with a 7/10 of a second lead over Chris Jericho. They run 1-2 in points, and they run 1-2 on the racetrack, and so far Brett actually pulling away from the 18 just a little bit on the start of this run.
Yeah, I mean, it must have been a pretty small accident if, there was no caution to happen. Maybe it was the pyros started to malfunction.
It could have been. Maybe some fireworks were going off a little bit too soon, right? They're scheduled for the end of the race, but maybe just a little bit of malfunction.
Someone might be getting fired after this.
Yeah. Well, while we were kind of bantering about fireworks and whatnot, Brett Cira opened up another half of a tenth on Chris Jericho that last lap, so the 25 once again pulling away. But is Chris Jericho maybe saving some stuff in case a long run occurs in this number 18 car? Do you think that could be in the cards for Chris Jericho? Maybe try and save right now. No one's really behind him, pressuring him, so he could just kind of back off and start saving some stuff. Maybe let Brett go up there and burn his stuff off, trying to get away from him.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely could, but he just has to hope that there's not another caution. I mean, especially near the end of this thing, guys might come down to get, fresh tires in their car, and, that could definitely ruin his plan. So, I mean, I could definitely see him saving, but again, he's got to hope that there's no caution, which, I mean, we've already seen there was almost one of the smoke of the backstretch, so.
Yeah, we'll come to halfway this time by in the Chevrolet Monte Carlo 400. 2 caution flags so far as Lathan Strickland moved to 6th place around Roberto Crown Jr., still continuing his charge back up to the front of the field after losing some spots. Roger Raiden up to 7th, Roberto Crown down to 8th. Keegan Thompson right now 9th, and Noah Clifton back to 10th, but still inside the top 10. Great run for Jacob Boyd in 11th place, currently at number 21. He's had a dismal start to this season, but here he is in that number 21, moving up and just knocking on the door of the top 10. Right behind him, Matthew Murray at the pole stairs having a great day. Diego Yepes having a fantastic day inside the top 15. Conrad Evans moved up nice in the 31. Mitch Corbett back here with Keyshawn Merchant has faded a little bit. Evan Hunter having a good run, the 36. Eli's back here. Justin Zeidel didn't have a good qualifying result so far. The race pace not much better. Currently still back in the battle for 19th with Mathews Wells. It could be a battle for 18th with Eli Bright. Maybe a 3-car battle right here between the 8th, the 24, and the 20.
Yeah, I mean, that should be a good battle with these 3 cars. I mean, they're pretty even. That 20 looks like it has quite a bit of damage on the left side, actually.
Yeah, that would be from
and on the right side.
The first yellow when he got hit into the wall.
Oh, right. I forgot that happened.
Yeah. there was a lot to...
I got short-term memory, Joe. Sorry.
There was a lot to remember from that first yellow. There were about 5 different accidents.
There was quite a bit going down.
Well, this was the man who was kind of the start of it. The 88 got spun around, and he may have made some kind of a glint there. If not, it was very close. But Luke's starting to move back forward in that 88, even after being involved in that yellow flag. Brandon Beal's back here in the 96, and I think it's a good time trade just past the midpoint. Let's do our lunch chat now, get it out of the way, because the past few races we've kind of been caught out by some stuff happening.
Yeah, we haven't had the best of luck with our timing, our McDonald's chat. So let's do it now and get it over with, and hopefully nothing happens.
Yeah, Brandon Beal so far having a solid race here in that number 96 McDonald's Ford. And last race at Watkins Glen, we asked, should NASCAR consider maybe using the boot layout for future races around the racetrack? And I think it was a very kind of divisive poll here. We had a 60% yes and 40% no, Trey.
Interesting. I mean, my answer's still one. Just saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, I figured more people would, be interested in running the boot, but you know, I guess if something's broke, ain't broke, don't fix it. So I can see both sides of the, both sides of the argument there.
That is true. So now that, though, we're into the final 10 races of the season, Trey, this is kind of the point of the season where drivers maybe start to pick it up when it comes to the championship. Like, Chris Jericho, Brett Cira might be starting to push it very hard now, trying to get that championship. And here lies the question, with how, spread out the points are right now, should the final 10 races be worth something more than the previous few races?
Yeah. I mean, they're definitely more important because they're the final couple of races in the season, especially if a championship battle's close, like go say with last season. I mean, that definitely could have changed the outcome of it, but at the same time, with it being all the same, you could have close battles like it was last season. So, personally, I say yes, just to make them a little bit more significant in the championship battle, but I could also see reasons why people would say no, keep them all the same.
I think that'll be an interesting one to see what the people think, right? What race would be considered more important? The Daytona 500 we call the biggest race of the season, as Edwards and Lawrence make content right there. But we call the 500 the biggest race of the season, and it's the start of the season. So if it wouldn't be in the final 10 races, and it wouldn't be technically the most important then.
Yeah, that's very true. So I mean, again, I can always see both sides of the argument there, but I guess we'll just have to wait to see what everyone else is thinking on their mind.
Well, Riley Superlative here, Trey. While we were doing that, he was up battling for third place with Kukulon, and is now all the way back to 8th place, falling behind Keegan Thompson. Did Riley burn his stuff up, or is there a problem on that 28?
It does look like he's dropping back pretty fast there. He lost about a car length to Keegan within half a straightaway. But at the same time, it doesn't really look like Boyd in the 43 is really... Actually, it might be pulling away from them, so he might have just used his stuff up.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because he was running really well, but you push your stuff too hard at a place like Richmond, that's going to happen. As Fitzwater, who started second in this race, dominated her earlier in the season, he's up to third now, getting by Sebastian Kukulon. So that number 2 has come alive here in the second half of this race, and could he be the one to maybe challenge with the front two? Because once again, Jericho's not gaining on Brett; they're just kind of staying, kind of equal, about the 7 to 8 tenths of a second mark apart. And I think Lathan Strickland also factored this in the 15. He's kind of coming forward in the 5th spot right now.
Yeah, he's slowly getting there, and if the first two, still, they were what 6 tenths apart from each, 7 tenths apart from each other for about 10 laps or so. Then Brett moved it up to another 10th, and they're still about the same. I mean, if anything, Brett's gaining very, very slowly. So if these three right here got some stuff left in their tank, they could definitely be a big factor in this finish.
I think another thing to watch out for if this thing stays green would be lap traffic. Obviously, there are some damaged cars on throughout. We saw Walker Davis falling a lap down the 19. There are some slower cars up ahead like Jose Mills. DeLello's not had a great day the 97. He's back here. Caden Lynn, Laura Chung. So we have to watch out for that if this stays green. How can Brett Cira deal with this lap traffic, get through it? And if it doesn't stay green, then he has to deal with the restart in some of his, heaviest contenders right behind him on his back bumper. So either way, it's going to be stressful for Brett Cira. But someone I think all these drivers have to watch out for is Lathan Strickland. I think he has maybe the fastest car on the racetrack right now, that number 15. He's willing to look for 4th place on Kukulon here, and he could be the one to maybe challenge at the front of the field.
He wants to be careful and not third Kukulon there. That was pretty close, Joe. I don't think he could have fit a piece of paper between those two cars. But yeah, I mean, Lathan right now, if he can get past the 30 here within the next lap or two and chase down Fitzy, I definitely think he might be able to catch that 18 and then from there move on to the 25. But seems like he's having trouble there.
Yeah, I think right behind Kukulon. Kukulon's doing a really good job defending, but it would be very sweet for Lathan Strickland if he get to victory lane in the special Chevrolet Monte Carlo 400 car with the Looney Tunes characters on the hood. He's going to spin Kukulon.
Oh.
A great Kukulon, but that's exactly what happened with Jericho and Kukulon last season in the spring race. So looking for Kukulon, he's able to catch it, but Lathan not giving him much room in that number 15.
You think Lathan's getting a little fed up with the 30 here, that Lathan knows he's a little faster, but Kukulon's not really moving out of the way?
Yeah, I think that last bump was a message, right? And it might soon be, all right, no more messages, and wall or around you go.
Oh, I think he might have got the message.
Yeah, I think this time he has him.
Yeah, if he can clear him off here, which he should if he can get the car to rotate like he did just there.
Oh.
I mean, Kukulon's still battling on the outside, though.
And you know, someone who's really fast at the front of this, Zach Fitzwater Sr. is gaining on Jericho, but not only on Jericho, he's gaining about a tenth of lap on Brett Cira, 20 to go. So as Lathan clears for fourth on Kukulon, Fitzwater is one to watch in that number 2 car. He is right now absolutely flying, gaining about a tenth every lap. It was 1.27 last time by. How far down will it go this time? 1.15. He is absolutely hauling the mail in that number 2 car.
He's he's got places to be, Joe, and I think he's trying to get this race over as quickly as possible.
Well, you know what? The Aussie did win a short track earlier in the season at Martinsville, and I think he's kind of taken a liking to these shorter racetracks, and he could be the one to maybe get up here and upset, you know, Brett Cira looking for his 6th win of the season. Fitzwater might get his 2nd as he's closing on Jericho, but he also has to be careful to try and get around Jericho in a timely manner because he's still a 2nd back of Brett, so he has to get by this 18 in an efficient manner because if he doesn't, Brett might get too far ahead to where, you know, there won't be enough time left to run that 25 down and get by him.
Yeah, it can't be a situation like we saw with Strickland and Kukulon just a couple of laps ago where Strickland's stuck behind the 30 and they make contact. That's only going to slow him up even more. But actually, if you look at it, Jericho's very slowly catching back up to Cira here. So if it stays green and we catch this lap traffic, which we're about half a straight away from, this could get pretty interesting here, Joe.
Yeah, and do you think, you know, Jericho was, you know, back there maybe saving his stuff while Brett Cira was up there maybe, you know, pushing it just a little bit harder? Jericho obviously not gaining as much as Fitzwater was, but still is gaining a little bit back every lap. It's just a few hundredths here and there, but at some point maybe the tires start to get even better for Jericho to where he maybe gains even more on Brett every lap. We'll see. It was 7/10 at the line last time. This time by 3/4 mile later, it was about the same.
This might get Fitzwater's there. He's close. If he can make a move going into 3 very quickly here, which I don't think he's going to... he might.
Ooh.
Not
Over
quite.
the back, but he also has to be careful, right? Because these are championship contenders he's messing with. You know, Fitzwater's not really in the championship fight, but Jericho cut off a big amount that time, half a tenth.
He's still there, but at the same time, I mean, they're still catching on Cira, so...
And this man's catching too.
I don't know how you want to look at this.
Yeah, I know. Like, if you're Fitzwater, right, you're going, I'm definitely a lot faster than you, I can catch, but also you're catching too, so I can't be too terribly mad with you, but that time he didn't gain anything.
Oh, this is one of those situations where I don't know what you want to think as a driver. I mean, plus, we're not really catching up to that lap traffic as quickly as I thought we were, so it might not. If it does come into a factor, it's going to be within the last probably 5 or so laps.
Another half a tenth taken off between Brett Cira and Chris Jericho. Fitzwater looking out, but not able to get there. And Lathan Strickland, meanwhile, is the fastest car on the racetrack in the 15 and 4th place. But will he have enough laps coming around to 12 to go to make an impact on the front 3? Brett Cira looking for his 6th win of the season. The 2 behind are looking for their 2nd win of the season. And the guy in 4th looking for his 2nd career win, his 1st of the season, his 1st for his team. And they're all within 1.4 seconds in the final 12 laps. 6/10 between the front 2, 3/4 of a second between the front 3. It's going to come down to the wire here in Richmond.
They didn't really gain any time on Brett there, so we'll have to see this time around if they did gain anything at all. No. Wow.
But Lathan is gaining.
Yeah, you can't get out that 15 yet, but it makes you start to wonder if he's going to have enough time to get up there. I mean, Joe, we are catching up to this lap traffic.
Yeah, Walker Davis again for the 2nd time tonight is about to fall lap down under the green flag. So watch out for that. Fitzwater might have a shot right here into turn 1, looking low on Jericho as the gap once again remains constant. Jericho trying to fight for all it's worth to keep the 2nd place because he knows at this moment he might not be able to get up there to get to Brett, and he doesn't know if Fitzwater can either. So he has to try and keep all these spots that he can, you know, to try and minimize the points lost to the 25 here. Who's dominated here tonight is going to get max points if he wins this race.
It's that balancing game. Is that if you they caught a little bit there now, Joe, so keeping that in mind, and we're catching up to a big group here. If that comes into, you know, if they catch up to this group, Joe, that could bring in all the way back to Strickland, so be careful. Brett's just now catching Davis here, so he's got to find his way around him, and he's got to make it quick.
We'll see right here down the front straight, looking low on the 19, and we'll get by in a timely manner. Another bit of time gained for Chris Jericho, 3 wide.
Hey, this is going to be something, Joe.
In front of there's the battle for 2nd. Fitzwater's had enough. He's looking low on Jericho, and Lathan Strickland might follow through as well in the 15. So Fitzwater's up to 2nd. Davis giving all the room to the inside for these drivers. And can Fitzwater be the one to run Brett Cira down with 7 laps to go? But they lost so much time doing that. Here comes Lathan.
Oh, Lathan's gonna dive it below, but I mean, Brett still's got to pass this 3-wide group right here, so I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, at first I was like, oh man, Fitzwater may have it, but look at this. This is big traffic. Kennington's going to move aside in the 77. Maybe let Brett go right here with now just 6 to go. They're still in the battle for second place, and now they've lost all the time they gained. It's up to over a second once again for Lathan Strickland and the rest of the field.
You got to think that these guys see Brett Sears in big traffic. They got to get all single file here to have even a chance of catching him, but if they keep battling like this, they're not going to be able to get there.
And Brett can't necessarily clear Kennington either, so the longer these two stay side, I mean, they had a golden opportunity right here. Brett's side by side with Kennington, can't get into the gas off the corner, but they're still side by side, and Fitzwater finally will give in to Lathan, but that 25's still side by side.
They're just ruining their own opportunity. They have no one to blame but themselves at this point. Finally, Lathan's by, and now it's going to be Jericho, but does Lathan have enough time now?
Yeah, there's only 4 laps to go in Richmond. That time he cut about 2 tenths off, but Brett needs to really get held up in traffic.
Now, you can think about it, too, every car that Brett passes, Lathan's got to pass that same exact one. So, if Lathan can get past Kennington a lot faster than what Brett did, and Brett gets held up behind the 44 and the 01, he might have a chance, but the big question is Kennington, and it does not look like he's catching up very much. He got up another 10th or half a tenth, so we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, just 3 laps to go as well, so they need something big to happen to Brett Cira, and I think their golden opportunity was when Brett was battling with the 77 right here is... Oh, Brett Cira's pitting! He's out of fuel!
I'm speechless.
Lathan Strickland to the lead with 2 to go. Now who has the fuel to make it to the finish line? Who saved enough?
I didn't even think about fuel being a factor into this. I was thinking tires.
Yeah, and now we'll see who has enough. Can Lathan Strickland hang on for 3/4 of a lap more? Fitzwater the one in second, Jericho in third. They're trying to stay out and make it the distance. The white flag is in the air. One more turnaround for Lathan Strickland. Dale Earnhardt Corporate has never won a Winston Cup Series race. Is tonight the night?
He just has half a lap to go, Joe, and it makes you wonder now. He just has to, I mean, he can't ease it around, but he can't really push it at the same time. Through 3 and 4, here we go.
Lathan Strickland, Dale Earnhardt Corporated has never won, but Lathan Strickland will get it for the organization at Richmond.
Oh my goodness. I did not see that outcome coming whatsoever, Joe. We said it at pre-race. Could it be their night? Joe, it's their night.
Trey, look down to pit road. Look at the DEI crews all coming together to celebrate. What a moment.
I can't believe that. I never thought fuel being an issue, but Brett Cira, I mean, they must have not, during the pit stop, they must have tried, shorting it up to let him, have a little bit less weight in that car to help him out, but it was too much.
And that's also when you go back to, right, Jericho was kind of off the gas for a lot of that run, right? Letting Cira get away. Brett was most of that run the fastest. I think when, Fitzwater and Lathan started going, they were maybe saving earlier and then released, and Brett was maybe trying to save at the end, just couldn't do it.
That's incredible. I mean, Joe, again, look how happy the entire DEI organization is right now. I mean, they fought how long for this win, and for them to finally get it, especially like you said, in the special scheme Lathan Strickland was running for this race, that's incredible.
Dale Earnhardt Corey gets it in the Chevrolet Monte Carlo 400 with, obviously they're a Chevy team, so that is just so fitting for DEI's. Lathan claims victory here in Richmond. Fitzwater so close in second place, and for Chris Jericho, this is the night he needed, Trey. It was looking like Brett Cira was going to gain a massive amount of points back over Jericho, but it's going to go to Jericho's favor. This could be a big point swing for the 18 team.
As Joe, we talked about during the race, this might be that momentum starter that that team was looking for, and if it continues, we could see another reenactment of last season.
We could, that's for sure. And fourth place, really good run for Roger Ray from the back of the grid, and Keegan Thompson in the top 5. Richmond definitely one of his favorite racetracks in the Winston Cup Series. Sebastian Kukulon, 6th place, really good run all night long for him. Jacob Boyd really needed this, 7th place. He has not had any bright spots this season. This is going to be one of them, a top 7. Diego Yapez, Morgan Motorsports, 8th place, really good run for him. Spurgeon ends up in 9th, and Conrad Evans makes it 2 RCR cars inside the top 10 here tonight in Richmond. Keyshawn Rich and Justin Zidell finished just outside the top 10. Roberto Crown Jr., Evan Hunter, and Mitch Corbett. Noah Clifton, all really good days inside the top 20. Mathis Wells, a good rebound along with Luke Rain after getting involved in the crash. Matthew Burnett for pole falls back to finish in 18th. Eli Bright ends up in 21st, his teammate obviously winning the race. Jordan Stout involved in the first crash, he gets 24th. Anthony, the other DEI car, gets 26th. And then we look down here even further. Tim Gary spun around a crash. He gets 30th. Atkins gets 31st. And Brett Cira 36th the lap down. A big point swing in favor of Chris Jericho here tonight in Richmond. As we look at the point standings, Jericho with a 3rd place tray, Brett Cira 36th, and the points are oh so close with 9 races left.
This is Joe. This is gonna start to get pretty spicy here, and I'm just glad that I get to be a part of it and I get to witness this all. I just cannot wait to see what happens here, and I hope I get invited to this DEI party for celebrating the win.
Yeah, I think the DEI party is going to be one heck of a party, that's for sure. But I think now you might start to know what we felt like up here watching you and Keegan battle for the championship last season. You might be in the spot to watch this time because I think this is going to be something special between Jericho and Cira here this season.
Again, I'm just glad I'm up here this time around, not during the stressful times of what it was actually like during that. So hopefully I'll get to relax a little bit more during this one.
Well, the drivers will not be able to relax next week because we're going back short track racing, Trey. And last season, I thought this would be a kind of big championship swing because when Keegan Thompson went out there and qualified, he qualified very poorly. But then you went out later and qualified just as bad as him. And at a track position racetrack, I thought, man, this could be bad for Keegan, but it ended up being bad for both of you. As we go racing at the Bristol Motor Speedway for the Food Save 500 under the lights again, Trey. Back-to-back short track races under the lights. That's going to be a spectacle to see with how close the points are.
Yeah, it's I'm ready for it. That's all I'm gonna say is that I'm ready for it.
We are all ready, especially after what we saw here tonight. Obviously, late race drama. Brett Cira not enough fuel. Lathan Strickland and the rest of the field had the fuel to make it, and it's the 15 team on top. Congratulations to Strickland and DEI on winning the first ever race for that organization. And tune in next week to JRTV for the Food City 500 at Bristol.